everyone, and welcome to Dimes with Dara on the Joy Slot podcast, brought to you by IrishSportsDaily.com. I am Greg Famong. That is Dara Dimes, Dara Mabrey. We are going to talk some Notre Dame women's basketball at long last. We are back. Dara, listen, it's hard to plan shows. Dara's out in Europe getting buckets. Buckets. You know what I heard before we started recording, Dara. Someone told me that you're leading your league in scoring. Someone told me that.
Yes.
The person who told me that is you. So that's how I learned that fact. But I have seen some stats on the socials. You got some 30-point games going up out there. I've seen some crossovers. I see some headzies. I see some step back threes from you. I want to talk about that. We're going to talk about the number 3 ranked Notre Dame women's basketball team, who are undefeated in the mainland of the United States of America, and I think that should hold precedence over everything else. They are 12-0 on the mainland, and they are 0-2 away from the United States. And so, but we're going to talk about them. We've got some huge wins. They've got some huge wins. You know, we are all about getting buckets on this show, as you know, and they are getting buckets. They are leading the NCAA in 3-point percentage at 44%. Didn't see that. I didn't have that on my bingo card, especially from Olivia.
Neither did I.
Around 48% from 3 this year. We're going to talk about all those things. It's going to be a great show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Irish Sports Daily YouTube channel. Like this video if you have a good time watching it. And hit the notification bell so whenever the show goes live. As always, Dara, the show is brought to you by ESQ Clothing, founded by Notre Dame alum Ga Wang. You've seen ESQ on all your favorite Notre Dame players and coaches. With over a decade of making the best custom clothing available, ESQ will help you look and feel your best in 2024. From a perfect fitting suit or sport coat, shirt or bomber jacket, or the perfect tuxedo for wedding season, check out Ga's amazing work at esqclothing.com and book an appointment to upgrade your wardrobe today. Mention ISD and get 10% off your entire purchase. You know who we have to get a sponsorship from? Whoever is outfitting Michaela Mabrey. We need to get that from them. I don't know who's outfitting her, but she is fire on a week-to-week, game-to-game basis. That's what we got to do. But Dara, how are you doing? How are things out where you are right now?
Things are great over here in Hungary. I've been having a really good time. I've been having a lot of fun playing basketball. The league is fast paced. It's very physical. And I'm learning a lot every single game. I learn something new. And every game I feel like I get better, which is great. And playing over here has been so much fun, really. The holidays were different. It was a little sad, a little lonely, but for the holidays, Catherine Westbeld and I, your other fellow Notre Dame women's basketball alum, for those of you that are watching that don't know, her and I play in the same league. So we've had some time over here together, and we went to Vienna in Austria together.
Yes.
And it was the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. Here is us at the Christmas market in Vienna. You guys can see.
I really should have had you send me this, and I could have put it up proper.
Yeah, look. So yeah, that's us at the Christmas market.
You know what? You can check out Dara Mabrey's Instagram.
Yeah, you can.
You got there as well.
You can follow me on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. So Vienna was so pretty. I thought Milan was the prettiest place I've ever seen, and then I saw Vienna. And it's like every building is beautiful, no matter where you go. There's statues, monuments, libraries. We waited an hour and a half in the freezing cold to go to like the most famous cafe over here in Vienna, and it was well worth the wait. It was so good. I never thought that I would have the opportunity to do that with somebody that I'm so close with. Like I consider her family, obviously.
Right.
And it was so fun. I was so grateful to have that experience because I was dreading the holidays alone, like my first Christmas and New Year's overseas by myself. And it was so great. So, yeah, I have a little break. And I have another game the 18th. So I've had some time to rest. I've had some time for myself. And then we started practice this week and we've been getting better and just life is great over here. I can't complain. I feel like I'm in my own little bubble.
You're scoring.
Yes.
You're getting buckets. What do you've shown the proclivity to put the ball in the basket, right? You did that at Notre Dame. But it wasn't always like, I'm going to lead leagues in scoring at Notre Dame. What do you attribute that to? You're just the fact that you're much more of a scorer right now. Where do you kind of put that?
I think I play a different role over here. I play free. I look to score almost every time, but I'm also playing point guard, which is helping me so much. Like if you think about the longevity of my career and where I will be like at this level and like looking at where I'm trying to go, playing the point guard for me is better. So I have the ball in my hands a lot more. I have to control a lot more, which like putting that responsibility on my back has made me so much better. I think I've adjusted to the physicality pretty well. I'm still learning, and I like attribute my sister Marina for, everything that she's done for me over here. She played in Europe for 5 years, 5. And just, talking about the physicality of the game, I think maybe my first couple games, I just needed to learn a couple little things to have my game flow a little bit better at the point guard spot. Like taking bumps, being the one to create the contact and not getting bumped, drawing fouls as the point guard, and getting myself to the free throw line. I shoot a lot more free throws over here, which is nice. We like those easy buckets.
Yeah, it's just a good way to get the points, that's for sure.
But yeah, I knew that I set myself up right when I rehabbed and when I really did sacrifice a lot over the last 2 years. And yeah, this was one of my goals, was to go to any league in Europe and make a really big impact. So I'm not satisfied whatsoever. Like, I know that if I'm doing this now and I'm a rookie, I have so much more left in my tank, so much more to pull out of my bag. And I like just doing this now. I'm just really grateful right now. And then I also remember like, oh, wow, like I'm pretty good at basketball. So like, imagine like what I could keep doing. Obviously, humbly speaking,
I think just the fact that you're having the success that you're having, I think allows you to, well, I guess I'll just ask you instead of just assuming it. But I think, does it give you the ability to kind of, I don't want to say dream bigger. Look a little bit more beyond, like, okay, I can like you said, build off this. Like, does it give you the opportunity to do that? Like, because you had to have been somewhat unsure of how it would go, just because it had been such a long time since you've been in a competitive situation. Like, is this giving you the opportunity to kind of say, okay, like I can do this here. I need to build something, another part of my game, or improve myself in some kind of way, to where to get a chance at like the WNBA or another league in Europe or something of that nature.
Is that 100%. Yeah, when I came over here, I was like, okay, I'm a rookie. I know that it's very physical. It's a very fast-paced game. It is a lot harder than college is. But like after 2 games, I was like, oh, shit, for lack of better words. I was like, oh, yeah, I could really do this. And I just feel free. Like, I feel like I'm playing in my backyard again. Like, the kind of confidence that I'm playing with over here is like everything I wanted. But I do, like, I try to make myself better every single day. Like, it's a job if you think about it. Like, anyone's like 9 to 5 in an office or, at a construction site. Like, I'm not in a basketball gym, obviously, from 9 to 5, but I'm lifting 9 to 10, then I'll rest, and then I'll go shoot like 12 to 1, and then I'll have practice 6 to 8. So like someone's 9 to 5 is like, that's my job too. And I've poured everything into myself over here and trying to like find ways to make myself better. And that like goes back to what I said. learning something at the end of every game. Like last game, I knew I had to like be better at when I was running off screens, like making them go another way first and not just like dictating what I was doing when they were just like standing on top of me. Like, so creating contact when I didn't have the ball in my hand, you know, and then that's something that I was working on this week. You find things after every single game, and you play once a week here. So it's like you have one game and then you have 5 or 6 days to really, you know, get in the gym and work. So it's different, but I mean, it's just like, I love basketball. I love the game of basketball. I love playing. You can never take the joy out of it for me, ever.
So is it the case where, because, you know, you're out alone, like you said, and it's lonely at times, but has that freed you up to just be like, I'm completely focused on basketball right now? Like, is that freed you up?
Like, I'm completely focused on basketball and myself. Like, you're over here, like, you don't have a lot of friends over here. Like, you have a lot of time on your own. And that's not saying you don't care about whatever, like, but you're your number one priority here. It's just the reality of it, you know, like, I'm in the middle of Hungary playing basketball, and I live inside of the gym. I take 10 steps and I'm on the court. So that's also a really cool thing that I didn't know I was going to get the opportunity to do. You just have all the time in the world to develop yourself, and even off the court too. Like, when you spend time alone, it really gives you a sense of awareness about yourself and allows you to take a step back, and just my awareness about everything and myself and where I want to go in life. Even my free time. I spend a lot of my free time by myself, which is nice. I hope I don't get too used to it, you know, but
I mean, take advantage, right? Like you make the best out of your circumstances. There's a certain head coach of the Notre Dame football team who's been preaching that recently, talking about how everything that happens is, we're going to use that as a positive, and a glass half full kind of team.
Always.
You're a glass half full kind of person. So this is all great, right? And we look forward to kind of following along with your success over there. We love to hear it. We love to hear about the buckets. We love to watch the Notre Dame women's basketball team.
We love to watch them at 2 a.m.
We
love it.
Yeah. What is that like for you? Just kind of having to stay up and things like that.
I just know. I always just know. I love Sundays. I'm like, no one texts me at 7:00 my time. The women are playing at 1:00, 2:00, 3:00. I don't care. Leave me alone. Sundays. Even Thursdays, you know, at 2 a.m. sometimes they're pushing it, but like, if it's like, I stayed up for the last game and the game before that, but whatever, because I can sleep in. So I love it.
They're 12-2. They are number 3 in AP poll, in the latest AP poll, which is fine, right? I think most importantly, the way that they're playing is, you know, that's kind of the important part. As you want to be playing a certain kind of way. It doesn't really matter where they're ranked. It could matter for seeding and that sort of thing. But I think since we last spoke, we did the live show against TCU. We ended that with the lead, and then we got off, and then they lost the game.
We apologize to our fans, but we were busy.
We should have kept going. Dara had to go to bed.
We were busy.
They lost another one in against Utah, and then they came home and they beat Texas at home in overtime. They were ranked number 4 at the time. Let me see where Texas is ranked now. Texas is now ranked 5th, so they've only dropped a spot since then. But then they beat Texas. They beat UConn in one of the bigger games of the season. Obviously, they have that road win against USC. USC also beat UConn. So there's kind of like teams beating each other types of things. And I think I saw one where it was the only loss previous to before UConn lost to USC was to Notre Dame. USC's only loss right now is to Notre Dame. So those are some quality wins. They beat 17th ranked in their latest game. They beat 17th ranked North Carolina on the road by 10. You mentioned Liza Karlen. hit a big 3 in that game. Maddie Westbeld made her debut in that game as well. So look, they're starting to get all the dogs back, for lack of a better way to put it. So that's all falling into place. I just want to get your general overview of how the women are playing right now. What you think they are growing to in terms of now that they have their players back, and what's kind of stood out to you, and I don't know, things that you think need to get better, or you just maybe just general overview of what you've seen so far.
Right. I think they look great, and I think putting Maddie back out there is just such a great thing. Because like Kate is great, but she's also still a freshman, and she's learning and getting experience. And Maddie also, like her abilities with the ball speak for themselves, but her leadership, right? Like Liv is coming off of, not playing last season. Hannah is still young, and Sonia is never the vocal leader. She is the lead by example. And I think putting Maddie and Liza out there, like as Liza is, I mean, I can't speak for her, but she's only like a couple games back for her. And I think that like what you see right now is probably not what you're going to see from her in another 4 or 5 games. Like you'll start to see more and more. And as those two come together in the group, it's just going to do great things. They have great experience. They're smart, and they're really good leaders. And that's always going to help. And that's speaking way past, their basketball capabilities. I think they've looked awesome. Like Cass Prosper, awesome. She comes in the game. She obviously, she has a defensive role, but she's been banging threes. And that also attests to the fact that they're leading the NCAA in 3-point percentage. Olivia Miles is now shooting, I was going to say a bad word, but she is just shooting the ball so greatly right now, Greg. Like, so good.
48% from 3. 66% effective field goal percentage. So basically effective field goal percentage means like threes are more they're worth more points than 2-pointers. Hashtag analysis. So that's kind of where that is. So in effective field goal percentage, she's shooting 66% from the field. She's also shooting 76% from the free throw line, which is a big deal for her as well. That was a major gap in her game as a freshman, where she shot in the 20s from 3 as a freshman. That was not her game, right? So she is still penetrating. She is still dishing. 7 assists per game for her, and it's just like the type of assists too. And I'm kind of noticing too, like with her and Hannah, there's a big like national. I saw Dwayne Wade had his podcast where he was talking about Hannah Hidalgo, and kind of like, how do you say her last name? Like, we need to learn how to say her last name because she's a star in the sport. And the same thing with Liv. Like everything. Listen, every time I talk to Neil Ivy, if she tells me something, it's gospel.
Yeah.
Neil Ivy told us that Olivia and Hannah were going to click immediately, and it wasn't going to be a problem, and it was going to be great, and it has been. They have been maybe the best duo in women's college basketball. And I say maybe because I don't. It's not like I follow every team, but I can't think of a better one right now. And
neither can I.
Yeah, like they're the best duo in women's college basketball right now, and they're playing at an elite level. They're feeding off of each other. Hannah herself is shooting 46% from 3, which by itself is just she's doing a great job. She's still averaging 4 steals a game. She's averaging 6 rebounds a game. It's exactly what we kind of thought was possible. Kind of like the best case scenario, and I feel like we're pretty close to that. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes. Agreed. Yeah, accurate. 46% is, and think about it, like she takes a good amount of shots per game. So shooting 46% at her attempts, I don't know how many threes she attempts per game, but it's probably a solid amount. Maybe it's 6 or over 6.
It is 6. Yeah, it's 5.8. Yeah. It's 5.8 per game. Yeah.
46% is really good for averaging 5.8 of them a game in attempts. But I think they just complement each other so well. Like they both can get downhill, and you have to help still a little bit, or they're just going to beat you off the bounce one-on-one. And when they like, I credit Hannah too, because her passing has got so much better since last year. Obviously, like we've seen what Olivia can do with the ball in her hands, but Hannah had not a different role, but I think that she realized how good she can pass now this year. And she also has more threats around her on the 3-point line. So does Olivia. So I think that they just complement each other really well. They're both downhill guards that are pushing the ball as fast as they can every single time, and they're really, really hard to stop. I love when Olivia draws and Hannah, like now they just have this connection. Like it just seems that like Olivia always knows where she's going to be, and Hannah just migrates to where she can get a good shot where Olivia can find her, and it's just natural. It actually makes me miss playing with Olivia on the 3-point line. It's just it's such a cool thing. Nobody can pass it better than she can.
It's the playmaking is there, and it's always been there. I think the concern for other teams is like the playmaking is now there for her to score, which is just like that makes it very, very difficult. Soni, for her part, is shooting 40% from 3, which is good, right? Like if you're shooting 40% from 3, like that's gonna work out. She's shooting about 5 a game, which is the same as Olivia Miles. So I think she's starting to round into form as well. Like I've noticed that she's starting to find herself on the offensive end. She's shooting about 11 shots a game, making about 5. Liv's making about 6. You'd like her to get to the line more just because she never misses. She's shooting 95% from 3, from the free throw line. But look, they're let me see, in points, they're 21st in the NCAA in total points, 6th in field goal percentage, like we said, 1st in 3-point percentage. Their offense is sailing right now. Interestingly, their defensive rating is 35th out of 362 teams. Let me just check the previous years. I feel like it's better. Okay. Wait, hold on. That's not it. Let me just check. Okay. So last year they were technically a better defensive team at 21st in the NCAA. This year they're 30. I think I said 35th or 36th. 35th. I feel like there's not a huge difference there. I feel like they've been a better defensive team this year than last. I think because of Kate, she's such a shot blocker. And I think Soni's been like really good on the defensive end as well this year. I do feel like they're better defensively this year, but I'm curious to get your thoughts on that.
Their transition defense is suspect at times. And that's, I mean, if we're going to get into, like, I know on all of our podcasts, we always talk about like something that we think that they could do better. Yeah. Their transition defense definitely needs to be better. Against North Carolina, it was poor. It was not good. They got whatever they wanted in transition, whether it was 2 points in the paint or a kick out for a 3. They have to know that when they take quick shots, it's going to be a quick rebound, and people are going to try to essentially do the same thing that we try to do to other people. Are
Liv and Hannah too much of risk takers in transition like that? Does that lead to transition opportunities?
To the outside eye, maybe you might think like someone would be like, oh, they take questionable shots in transition, or they're forcing it a little bit too much, but that's our identity.
I mean, no. I mean, what I mean by that is, on defensively, when they start to push in transition, they look for steals that compromises the defense if they don't.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I just think that they need to run back a little bit harder.
Okay.
Like when it goes, like you need to run back harder. Like I know you're tired, but like you need to, get your behind back because that ball is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
So transition defense. I'm just checking out Kate. She's been starting, but now that Liza Karlen's back, she started 4 games. And now that Maddie Westbeld's back, I wonder if they're going to pull back on that a little bit.
Mhm.
Kate's still averaging 3 blocks a game, which is good. We'll take on that. Let's see. I'm going to check out turnovers. So the thing with Kate is she leads the team in turnovers. And I bet you her usage isn't as high, especially if like Kate's usage is 6th on the team. Or excuse me, I apologize. It is not 6th on the team. It is 3rd on the team. So she has a lot of usage when she's out there, and that probably is leading to her turnovers and things of that nature.
Like fatigue and stuff.
Well, just like I think she wants to be. This is just my opinion now, and it just like you said, it's just kind of a naked eye type thing. I feel like she wants to be more of a playmaker in there, and that's leading to just kind of
some turnovers. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times she has the right idea and she knows what to look for in our offense. Like there's one pass that I've seen, the same kind of pass, like you get it at the elbow as the post player. And if there's a back door, it's just this pass that is supposed to start from here and it just goes right past your hip. She has the right idea, but I think that she has to understand that like it has to come quicker because now the defense is quicker. But she's a really good passer when she's not overthinking and when the game is coming to her and it doesn't seem too fast. So I think that that's something that she will continue to get better at.
Yeah, like to your point, like she's trying to do the right thing.
Right.
It just isn't always working out, right? And she's losing the ball. She's making like a loose pass or something like that. But you can tell like she thinks the game kind of how you want to see it.
Yeah, good point.
I think Liatu's been
huge,
pretty much a home run. From what they're looking for, right?
Transfer portal win right there.
Yeah. I mean, she's averaging basically 12 rebounds a game, 3 on the offensive boards per game. It's just like she does all the little things that they need from a player to do, and she's she's elite at it. It's one thing to ask
such a good rebounder.
Yeah, it's one thing to ask someone to do it. It's another thing for them to be actually good at that thing.
Right. She's a great addition to our team.
Yeah. What have you kind of seen from her, and how do you think she plays next to, like Liza versus like Maddie, like the differences in style between those two players and Liatu playing next to them?
Yeah. I think Liza and Maddie can take on the bigger matchup. And although Liatu is not huge, she's not tall, she's not super wide, she can move her feet and she's fast enough to guard. Guards or posts that might float inside and outside like Liza do. She's not a matchup nightmare, if that makes sense, where you don't know where to put her. Like she's versatile, she's strong, and she can guard someone at the elbow. Which is great because then you could put her in there and it's not, you don't have problems with the matchups. And then just offensively, she's crashing the boards like no other. Like she's so athletic and like she rebounds with her feet. So she finds the ball really well. She has good awareness. And then her jump is so quick. I think one of the highlights that they showed, she like missed the first rebound and went back up. Like her second jump is unbelievable. Like she's so athletic. She's smooth. And she can run and catch it and create. Like, although she's playing the 3-4 at times, like she kind of plays more like a guard to me. And like when I look at her like playing in the future, like she's definitely a guard. And I think that that's perfect because we have the perfect offense for that. It's a very versatile offense, and the more versatile you are, the better you're going to thrive in it.
When you say rebounds with her feet, what do you mean by that?
You know how like some people are just great rebounders because they have the size and the length.
Mm-hmm.
She hunts the ball down. Like she's looking, and she's already at the ball before her defender is, and then she's in the air going to get it. That's what I mean by she rebounds with her feet. Like she has good awareness of where the ball is, and then she's faster than the other people and goes and gets it. And she jumps higher.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I had an idea, but I wanted to inform the people. They are 5th in the nation in total rebounds per game, and
makes sense.
Liatu's been, Yeah, they're second in the nation in defensive rebounds per game. Liatu's a huge part of that. Hannah and Liv are also huge parts of that. But look, complementary pieces. They're sixth in blocks per game. This is why, like, I don't really know where this like defensive rating comes from. Like, I feel like if you're the second in defensive rebounds and sixth in blocks, 25th in steals, you're probably good, right? Like, I don't know. This just seems, it just seems like you're doing well defensively if you're doing those things.
It does, and I think a lot of people expect, like, when you're that good offensively, like, people might automatically expect, well, they can't be, like, there has to be something that they're not good at.
Yeah.
Like they can't be great defensively. Like, no, I think it's that's why they're so good, is because they want to get out in transition, so they're going to pressure, and then they're going to rebound and go. And it's hard to stop.
They have a 27 they have a 20 plus 27 point differential, which is will take, I think.
Yeah.
I just thought of something, and I'm going to check it right now. I want to check myself because I don't want to say it if it's not true. Let me just see. Yes. Notre Dame has 0 wins that didn't come by double digits. Their closest win this year was their most recent against North Carolina. They won by 10.
How much did they end up beating Texas by?
They ended up beating Texas by 10.
10, yeah.
They won 80-70. That's an overtime game, so obviously that game was very tight. But
Right.
they beat UConn by 11. They beat USC by 13, famously. So, they're barely playing close games. They're not squeaking out wins, as one might say. Their next couple are against Wake Forest, at Clemson, and home for Georgia Tech. I feel like they're going to go on a run here, to be honest. Georgia Tech was ranked. Let me see what they're ranked now. They were.
And Clemson's good this year.
Yeah. So Georgia Tech is undefeated. They are currently 13th in the AP. Let's talk about the Georgia Tech game. What do you think Georgia Tech has that can give Notre Dame problems?
I know they have those 2 guards. I don't know both of their names, but I know they have 2 guards that are really good, and they get downhill and they draw fouls.
You're thinking of Danny Carnegie, and you're thinking of Farrah Dunn.
Yes.
They are 16 points a game. The other was Tony Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's a new Georgia Tech team. Nell Fortner is a good coach. And they need to be careful. We're gonna be aggressive. You can't pick up fouls. They just have to be smart in that game because they have downhill guards that like contact. And they're really confident right now. So I think that'll be a fun one for them. I think they definitely should take care of business at home. But Clemson should be a fun one too. They also like to get downhill. They have 1 guard that's good, another shooter that's good. I saw them give NC State a run for their money on the road, beginning of ACC play, and that's also a new team. So they should just be fun, like they were probably used to beating Clemson by a lot last year and the year before, and Georgia Tech, and it's different this year, which is great. Yeah. The more competition, the better. A good Clemson team, a good Georgia Tech team, it makes it more fun.
Are you at all concerned about like a regression to the mean from for their 3-point shooting, specifically for Liv? It's something that if it's not a strength, maybe it's just a strength, right? And she, players have a weakness. You work on your weakness and you make it a strength, right? Like that would not be the first time in the history of sports that happened. But does it give you a little bit of pause, I guess, in the sense that, like, can they keep this up? Are they too reliant on the 3-point shot? Where do you come with that?
I don't think so. I think that they just have to have good awareness that if it isn't falling one night, to get an easier shot. But Nielle's really good at that. I just like playing for her. Like, usually if we missed a couple outside shots, or we made one, then we missed two, she would press getting the ball in the paint and run a set for an easier shot, most likely a post up. So I don't think that it will regress because Niele is really good at that adjustment.
To the point, they are 170th in 3-point attempts. So they're not jacking,
Yeah.
They're taking their fair share of 3-pointers, but they're just efficient there.
Yeah.
So like if it's not falling, right? They're 170th in 3-point attempts. They're 14th in 2-point attempts. So like they're getting the ball inside, right? And they are, let me see. 2-point percentages, they're 53rd in the nation. So they can sustain themselves. They're a pretty good free throw shooting team. So they can sustain themselves. It's just something that I wanted to kind of float your way and see what you felt about that.
Right.
You feel good about this team? I made a joke. When I say feel good, obviously you do. They're third in the nation and they're crushing teams. But just in terms of their kind of, you feel good about them in terms of what we thought they could be, right? Relative to their expectations. Are you feeling very good about this team, or even better than you thought you would?
Yes. No, yeah, for sure. And I think how they turned it around after the Cayman Islands tournament, like, attests to how I feel about that. They did a really good job. They came back, they beat Texas, they beat UConn. And that's how you respond. And it showed a lot of growth and maturity. And I think that was really promising for, what we want to see looking forward.
I think the because of what they did after they got back from the Cayman Islands tournament, I feel like I don't want to say throw it away because I don't like to throw away losses, especially against, like, TCU's good, right? Mm-hmm. They're 15-1. So I don't want to throw it, but it is pretty clearly an aberration, right?
Right.
They haven't looked anything like that since then.
No, since it happened. No way.
Yeah. So, I think everything's kind of pointing up for Notre Dame. Their last, their next few games, they've got some tough ones, like you said, against Clemson. That's a tough game, and then they've got who was it that we said that was the other
Georgia Tech?
Game? Georgia Tech. They've got that coming up, and then after that, I think they can go on a run. Kind of made a joke before, like, are we looking at the 1 seed? Maybe. You're lining up for it.
Looking at the national championship.
It's kind of in the air, isn't it, Dara Mabrey? It's kind of in the air with the football and the basketball and things of that nature. Although, like, when this comes out, we'll know. I think we will know if it's on for the Notre Dame football team.
Let's go.
Because I'll probably put this out after the game. We're recording Wednesday. The game is tomorrow, Thursday. So
yep. Go Irish.
Go Irish. It's a very exciting time. Are you able to watch those games in the where you're at? Are you staying up for that as well?
Oh yeah, for this one. I couldn't stay up for Georgia, but I'll stay up for this one because we still don't have a game this week, so yeah. I think I could stay up for that one.
Okay. Well, speaking of staying up, you're staying up right now, and we appreciate that. I'll let you go. We can end it for the people. Thank you for tuning in today. If you like what you heard, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. So whatever it is, we are going live. Links to our podcast are in the description below. We'll be back soon. Things are slowing down.
We'll be back sooner.
We'll be back soon. Things are slowing down for me. And, with the holidays and everything, things get kind of crazy. And then the football team is obviously taking up a lot of time because they went on a run. So that's very exciting as well. But we'll be back soon to cover more of the women's basketball team with Dara. So for Dara, for me, thank you for tuning in. Have a good rest of your day. What are we going to do, Dara?
Keep getting buckets and go Irish. Go Notre Dame football. Let's go.